Miyagi S64, my type. You see me? You know the slogan, you know what it is. Miyagi F64, SB trying to help a real nigga through the door. 8 for the car, you respect, it's a pretty watch. And it's 50 for a brick of raw. Trying to raise up 80 for the pretty Porsche. Rapping and I'm trapping and we're splashing in the city stores. Gloves on, so I don't get the yayo in my paws. I'm knocking doors and I'm ringing bells. Trying to make record sales, I'm making sales. Music hits or sales of the flaky girl. Farming carbon filters, trying to break the smell. Stay strapped, one Mac, plenty bells. Yo my people, yeah, I hope everyone's good and well. And first thing first, I want to announce that this is not a glorification in any way, shape or form. Rather, I just hope this is a benefit to the people that are listening. So this is a bit about my story. So growing up in Peckham, we lived in Thornbill House in Peckham, and my grandma lived on Colgrove Road, and yeah, so both sides of my family like lived in Peckham. My mum went to school in Peckham Girls on the front line, and yeah, I moved out of Peckham, or we moved out when I was about age 5 or 6, and it was like we moved to the Lewisham borough, but other relatives still lived in Peckham, as I said, my grandparents, etc. So it was like all roads led back there. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was going to school in the Lewisham borough, so I had experiences there. I had relatives in Brixton, so I had experiences there. I had relatives in Norwood, Gypsy Hill, so I had experiences there. So it was like, even though I was like gang affiliated, Peckham, I had different connects where it was a bit different through other people. Like a lot of people, they was just like secluded to the ends or to their area. So my experience growing up was a bit different, where like a lot of people never really stepped out of the area, like real talk, until like they actually maybe went on a sweatbox and he was incarcerated and went to prison, like, or they met friends from prison and then maybe went to link them in their ends or whatever. So my experience, I would say, was a little bit different, because like from a young age I had like, you know, like childhood in many different areas. But as I said, all roads led back to Peckham, which, and how can I describe it? It was like it's a zoo. In a zoo, there's a lot of different species, a lot of different characters crammed into one area. So that's how I would explain it. A lot of different egos, personalities, and whatever in one location. So I would say that just gang life, full stop. Like, I don't condone it, and I don't glorify it, and it takes a lot of years, man. It robs a lot of years from your life, and it makes you grow up fast. But definitely you can learn wisdom and a lot of things from being in the streets. Like being in the, you learn to have to fend for yourself. You learn what honor is. You can learn what dishonor is. You can learn the power of communication and how far things can escalate, like in your neighborhood without communication. Like you can learn what real friends are, what fake friends are. You can value peace because you know what war brings. Like there's so much different aspects, like, but you inherit a lot of things that you don't even understand, and like it's just a big lesson. That's how I would explain it, as a big lesson and a journey that can create a lot of trauma in someone's life, and a lot of bad habits that you trying to get rid of, or a lot of good habits that you might give to the wrong people. And like, so it's a big learning curve, I would say, like growing up in the hood, full stop, Peckham or any hood. Music and developing a passion for music, I'd say this is something that from a young age, it's just something that was kind of just embedded in man, because like coming from like a Caribbean background, it's like music was just standard. Like I don't never remember a time without music. Literally, like as I said, when I was living in Peckham, I was like 5, 6 before we moved from there, and I can literally remember running around in my grandma's and chatting lyrics, and even my family like telling me certain things, like chatting lyrics from young, literally like probably running around 2 years old, listening to my uncles and that play music in the house and chatting lyrics, ragga lyrics and DJing and all of these things from young. So I can't really say that it was a passion then, but the passion probably linked to something in it. So how, like, that was part of my cultivation, like, you know what I'm saying, that you grow up and just listening to it till it just becomes like you just know bare lyrics from a young age, you know, most of the DJs. And like I used to link family members, and we're young, and like these times will sting and all of these things are going on, and we're chatting lyrics and we're clashing, and you know what I'm saying, I might be Ninja Man and he's Shabba, or I'm chatting my own lyrics and he's chatting his own lyrics. And like, so this is what we do, we go and link, like our mums, they're going linking, we're going somewhere, then we end up back at home. And this is how, this was the culture that we grew up in. So I would say when I actually, that was a young passion, but I would say when I actually developed a passion, my own passion for music and writing music, yeah, it's two separate, innit? Like like a passion for music started at a young age, I would say, but my passion for writing music, like I would say, wow, I don't know if I was in like late in primary school or early secondary school, but that's when I started just writing, but not really had an outlet of going to the studio and recording anything, but just venting and just talking about life. And if I remember correctly, like one of my first lyrics was more, it's like it all ties in with even my stance now, because I was talking about basically that there's got to be more, like believing nothing less than striving for excellence, like that there's got to be more to licking it and doing certain things, and that was from a young age. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just always been a battle of the soul from the start. Yeah, I found Islam whilst in prison. So yeah, it was just like I grew up as like, I can't even say a Christian because we didn't even go to church or anything like that, but it's just like, you know, your family, it's like from generation to generation, it's like you kind of grow up with what you know. So it was just like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but we didn't practice or we didn't do anything. You might do Christmas or whatever, but it wasn't, we never went to church or anything like that. But yeah, I found Islam in prison after being like incarcerated, and just asking certain questions. Like from a young age, I used to ask like my mum about what's the purpose of life and what's life all about and whatever, because I always thought that I was different to like a lot of other children, even in school. Whilst I was in school before like I got kicked out or anything like that, like I always used to feel like I was singled out because I was different. I was someone that would have a voice. If I didn't understand something, I would ask for explanations or for clarifications on certain things. And at that time in my life, it was like it was deemed to be defiant. Like, you're the defiant child in the classroom. Why can't you just be like everyone else? And then later in life, it's like these are the things that separates you and makes you like inquisitive or not a yes man, which is valued later in life. But when you're young, it's like it's you're abrupt and you're rude and you're all of these things that they label you because they don't want to understand individuality. So that was the same thing with Christianity. I used to ask a lot of questions that never really it wasn't really justifiable to me. Certain things like, how could you ask a man like for forgiveness, and how can what's supposed to be one, how can it be three, how can it be a trinity? There wasn't no trinity, then the trinity became like, so it was just like loads of things like it didn't really sit well with me. So yeah, so then I found Islam. But it was strange because growing up, it was like I just used to think like, rah, that's an Asian man thing. Like I didn't even know the difference literally like between like a Muslim or a Hindu or a Sikh or what. I didn't even know the difference when I was in school, literally. Like to me it was all the same thing. But that was obviously ignorance. And then like I learned how to differentiate, and I understood that basically what Islam is that it's monotheism, that God is one, there's no partners. And like back in the day, through ignorance, you hear Abdul this, you used to think, what's these strange names? And then you realize that Abdul is literally the slave of or the servant of, and then the name that follows it is the name or the attribute of the creator. Like, so yeah man, so I found Islam in prison anyway. Okay, so the obstacles of doing music and the road versus following faith, I would say first thing first, there's obstacles between music and road anyway, because when we was doing music, also now a lot of the kids are actually doing what they're saying, and some of them are even going as far as snitching on themselves. But also when we was doing the music, it was like the conflict is that when you're doing what you're saying, it holds you back musically anyway, because you're gonna sit down, you're gonna end up doing time, and do you know what I'm saying, a lot of things come with living the road life. So that is an obstacle within itself. And then a further obstacle between like music and road and following faith, the music and the faith is like is total opposites, and the road and faith is total opposites. So how I can explain that further is like when like the music and the faith, hence why I said like Battle of the Soul, because it was like once upon a time we was doing the road, we was doing the music, but the music was like a legitimate way to get off the roads. Do you understand? And then it came to a thing like when I found Islam, it was like no longer a legitimate way out. So I was then battling with a new battle. Do you understand? So once upon a time, it's like music's your escape, it's your way to vent, it's your way that maybe if you take this serious and battle from the roads and then start doing the music 100%, maybe you can have a legitimate career. And then when I came to the religion, it was like I understood that this also now is impermissible. So it was like a battle between the faith and and the road and the music. Sorry. So once upon a time, you're battling between the music and the roads, and then you're battling between the music and the faith and the roads as well. So it's this crazy battle of the soul. Um, yeah, yeah, definitely. That's the whole reason why I say the battle of the soul, because not even just now that it's evolved, it's like it's something that you grew up on, and it was always a way to vent, and something that you had like a passion for. So it's not even just only now that it's evolved that it makes me think, should I jump back on the music. It's been something that I've always been battling with, especially when like you've played the role that I've played. It's like I can actually say like this whole thing, like I've helped shape the whole thing. Do you understand? Like from my ends being like a main player, like, or you could even say like the first player in the ends. You understand? That's like started making the music thing pop off in the ends and all of these things. And then when you see success comes, of course, it's always been a battle. Even before anyone even took off, like it's always been a battle. Do you know what I'm saying? Where people in my ends are telling me, brother, you're the hardest in the UK, like what you doing? I'm telling them, nah, you know what, like I'm just trying to practice and whatever. And man's telling me, brother, there's worse things that you could be doing or whatever. And this is before, like, when it was just taking off. Do you get what I'm saying? And it was like trying to stand my ground and just do what I know is right. And then sometimes it creeps back up, and do you know what I'm saying? So like even now and back then, it's always this up and down and whatever. And but literally for the last 6 years I haven't put out like any music. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I would say literally I've been battling this journey since, I would say, the music scene took off in 2008. So I've been battling all of that time. Some days stronger than some, or years stronger than others. And yeah, man, but it's been a long battle. Do you know what I'm saying? And the battle's even harder knowing the role that I've played. Kids that are doing music and road, um, the most I could say is just don't let the music make you think that you have to go harder on the roads to be official and to do all of these things. Because to tell the truth, like, I know everyone wants to be real, everyone wants to be the official, but I feel like we've come so far from that. It's like, it's either you are or you're not. Do you get what I'm saying? It's either you've done it or you're not. Like, it's either you've been that way inclined or you're not. But for all the kids that are growing up that think that they need to go and dip and go and do all of this just to be a rapper, allow it. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that they don't even do what they say anyway, and they seem to be making a success for themselves in the music scene. So it would be very silly to think that just to be a rapper that you have to do certain things. If you've done certain things and then you found music and you're battling between the two, then it is what it is, innit? But don't make the music make you think that you have to go and do roads or go and do any crazy things or whatever. And to be honest with you, like, I have to be real in it, like, do you understand? Because of my beliefs, I can't even go and tell anyone, go and do music or go and do roads, do you understand? So I can't encourage anyone to do either of them because I know the evils of both of them, do you understand? So I'm not going to come on to any platform and try and glorify anything that I know that is really forbidden. I battle with what I battle with, but I ain't gonna go and tell no one to go and make no music, full stop, because I know what music is. And I definitely ain't gonna go and tell no youths or anyone for that matter to go and kill people, to go and stab people, to go and like glorify any violence or any mistreatment of women, or to do anything other than treat women like queens, or to degrade women, or to do anything like this. Like, that's not my role as an adult. Like, I ain't gonna play that role, do you understand? So whatever I've spoken about in the past through my music, I've spoken about in the past, and I would like to think that like I've matured a lot since then. And all I do on this platform or any platform, all I do is talk about my life, my journey, and like what I've been through. But I don't never want to be that person like that's going and telling little kids to do mad things. Like, even when you even listen to the music and the content, sometimes it amazes me like that there's certain adults or whatever, like they're just like, the content's just the same. It's immature, like, and it's just like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, many of us, we got children, so I feel like we got to have a better message for the kids and be articulate enough to tell our story without it being a glorification or a glamorization.